My hair is really going brown now. That's not good. Week 8 of The Artist Way. I don't even know how I'm doing it, but I'm doing it, and definitely better than last time because that was around the time I started quitting. I think I didn't even make it to week 9. I think by week 8 it got a lot and I kind of stopped. So this is a great milestone. Maybe next week will be a bigger milestone, but this is a great milestone, and I kind of now understand why it was a lot last time, because this week is a lot and I jinxed it by the last 2 weeks. Week 7 and 6 were more action based, but not a lot of like self-reflection, and then the weeks before that were self-reflection but not a lot of action based tasks. This one is both. It took me on a whirlwind for sure, and it was good. This time I wasn't hard on myself, and sometimes like you can understand that you've been busy, and it's okay to be busy, and it's okay to do all the tasks in one sitting, and then in your morning pages you reflect on that. And it's also okay if you don't want to do your morning pages in the morning that one day, and you feel like you want to reflect on the day instead of right in the morning. That's also fine, because some mornings I'm reading Sunrise on the Reaping, and I'm so excited because it's so good. It's so sad, but it's so good, and the movie's coming out, so that's why I'm like, I need to finally commit to reading it. And The Hunger Games is one of my favorite series ever, so obviously I want to be invested in it. So every morning I wake up and I'm gonna read that more than anything. Basically, I would want to do the morning pages after, or sometimes at the end of the day. I don't know why I'm having this implication, but I'm also trying to be reflective on why I'm trying to run away from my morning pages. Part of it mainly is because I've already had a lot of my thoughts dumped into the pages. There's not much to do, and there's not much reflection on the day or writing tasks. Also, big thing that I've finally been diagnosed with is ADHD. So, and it makes sense. Finally, it makes sense how I function, how creative thoughts come to my head, and all that kind of stuff. So it makes sense that I have ADHD, and from that now I manage my tasks through like to-do lists or task apps and stuff like that. I don't need the morning pages to write down my tasks anymore, which was what I was doing with as before. So now it's more just write down thoughts, and sometimes I don't have any thoughts. Sometimes I have ideas for my novel, but I don't have the energy to write it, and I'm aware of that. And sometimes I want to reflect on the day, or sometimes I want to rant on one specific thought that I want to see it through to the end and it won't matter anymore, stuff like that. But overall, it's been good. After that diagnosis, I can finally understand how my brain works, and I understand why I haven't been doing things or postponing them for a long time, why I can't do a desk job because it's literally torture, and why I can do certain things that other people can't that easily, blah blah blah. So there are like pros and cons to it, and now I'm realizing it, which is very fun and very good, and I'm playing around with what I find are the tools that can help with that kind of stuff. So yeah, that was a very big aha moment for me. It was a big revelation. But from that, the morning pages have become a space now for more creative thoughts and more inner work. So I used a lot of the morning pages to do a lot of the inner work for this week, which this is a gray area where I don't know if you can do that. I have 2 notebooks, one for the tasks specifically and one for the morning pages. But sometimes this is what I want to do. Like, I want to reflect more on the tasks, especially this week. There's a task where you write down your dream and the North Star to define that you established that dream, and basically write down steps over like the next 5 years or the year or the month. So it's a to-do list. So I don't want to write it in my morning pages and I lose it in the pages. I want to write it in my task or in my notebook for workbook basically, but I also want to do that as an exercise or as something I want to write about in the morning in my morning pages. So, you know, it was a weird gray area that nobody talks about. Maybe they do, I didn't look up, but I'm allowing myself to do that inner work through the morning pages. It also saves a lot of time that I didn't have this week because synchronicity this week has been crazy with opportunities and people showing up out of nowhere asking me to do sound or like for any opportunity, and I've now recognized it and I'm like, I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna say yes even though if I don't feel like it, I'm gonna go for it. And most of the time it's been rewarding, if not all the time. It's been very busy, good kind of busy, thank God, knock on wood, all of that, all this. But it's been very interesting to see how it's all happening all at once, and that's what the book says. And it's also helping me with my image file, and I have basically started an image file on my wall to just put it all in there. I like it visual, and I like to see it all the time, so that's why I'm putting it on my wall. And while I'm printing what I want for images, I'm not really encouraged to use the stuff that I put in my vision board for the year. I put a lot of programming and a lot of desk job stuff and a lot of stuff that I've been told I should pursue, but I don't want to anymore. I feel like I've been more gravitating into pictures about being on stage and performing and having a band and recording and making music and reading and writing. And so not a lot of programming and not a lot of computer stuff. I would love to produce music and make sound and sound design and stuff like that, but it's clearer now what I want to do, and it's become more possible. Being on stage was something that I would dream about and not want to consider how it's done. And coming from the Middle East, the first thing you say to yourself is like, you can never do that because you're there. But even if you're there, you can do that. So not being there or being anywhere, you can still go to local areas and try to perform. You can still reach out and figure out to get a band. You're just scared. And that's what it is. I've been scared to reach out to other musicians. I'm scared to start a band because in university or in school, it's so easy. You're all doing this. You're all doing music together. So of course you'll start a band. It's easy. But doing it as an adult with a frontal lobe, it's harder socially, but easier in the long run because you're an adult, you know how to run things. You don't need somebody to help you run it. So it's becoming more of a possibility instead of me being afraid to do it or making it this like on a pedestal kind of thing that I will never do, or I will do when the time is right, but there's never a good time. So that was this week, which is crazy, and I felt like I wasn't really immersed in the process, but it's been immersed in me and it's been affecting me. This week has also helped me to figure out a lot of who I am. One of the funniest tasks was like list 5 things you're not allowed to do but want to do. And it's funny because most of it is dismantle the patriarchy, end capitalism, hope for the end of Israel and all imperialism and fascism. You know, things like that. Things that you can't really do. Like, I don't think this book was made for that kind of stuff, but we work with what we have, and it helps me see how much of a political being I am and how much of an activist I am, although I might not act on it all the time, but here we are. And you can ban my video, you can do whatever. I don't care. That's the whole point. That's the whole point of this book, is that I don't care. My artist this week has been wanting to do things on the down low. So wanting to just sit on my comfy chair and read a book, wanting to finish that wall that is now freaking gorgeous, filled with all my favorite musical pieces, mostly French and Arabic music, and wanted to get the image file out of the computer into the wall, so we started that too, and just read and calm down and do the tasks and have a mindful evening. So I did that. The ideal day one didn't change since last time I did it. It's still me wanting to be in a hotel room in a different city every time on tour, performing to a lot of people. But also what I realize is that I don't want my ideal day to be the same. I have multiple ideal days. Some days are chill at home, some days I'm traveling, some days I'm performing, some days I'm directing, some days I'm writing. Every day is different, and that's what keeps me going. ADHD, but that's what keeps me interested and excited, and I realize that that's what I want and that's who I am, and that helps me get a clearer vision on what kind of job I want in my life. So that is very good, I guess. So one festive aspect of my ideal day is do something creative, and I'm already slowly doing that, whether I'm writing or even experimenting with my interior or anything like that. I'm doing that every day as long as I keep it interesting. And I still haven't opened any session of my old EP, but I should. And I'm feeling more open to it, to explore my music again. It's gonna be weird, but I wanna explore it from the mindset of no pressure to release, just look into it, see what it feels like, see what it is. Because there's never a good time. It's always gonna be you're in a rush or you're busy doing other stuff. I'm not. I've also embraced the ADHD and added playing piano every day because I know I should. I know I should practice piano and guitar every day, but I won't remember. That's the whole point of the ADHD, is that you don't remember that you have to do all this stuff. So even if I know I need to remember them, I won't remember them, and I won't look at the to-do list to do them. So having an app or having something that is visual in front of me all the time to remind me I have to do it and make it as a daily task. Some people even do go shower, and so to do something like that really helps. So having piano on my to-do list is a start for me to practice piano at least for 10 minutes every day, just to touch the piano and get started. And that's a good start for me to finally get back on track with music. Even if the keys are broken, some keys are broken, I'm working an octave lower, doesn't add any difference. So yeah, it's synchronicity's working, dude. It works. This book works, but you have to work with it. And you also have to be kind to yourself along the process of it, that it's not going to be as perfect as you think it is. And if you are a perfectionist like I am, you're going to want to do the tasks perfectly the way they are, and you're going to want to have to go back and check on the tasks to see if you did them right. You don't need to do that. It even says that you don't have to do all the tasks. You just need to do what resonates, and if they all resonate, or if you have the time for all of them, go ahead. And if you don't, it's okay. So that's what I'm reminding myself. And also, like the book says, sometimes the change happens too quickly. You need to keep up. It's okay. Like all the changes that are happening within me and externally, I'm so aware of it that I'm like, this is too fast. Maybe I need to pause everything that's going on and say no to a lot of opportunities so that I can have time and do the tasks so that they can help me get more opportunities. You see how doesn't make sense? Because it doesn't. So when I see an opportunity coming through synchronicity and through abundance, I'm going to take it, because that's what this book is trying to tell me. And this is what the whole process is all about. So I'm going to be more open to the process. And whenever I have downtime, I'll look back on the tasks and see and reflect and see if I missed anything. And that's totally fine. If I want to be a perfectionist and if I want to make sure I've done everything right, again, maybe it's ADHD, probably. I'm going to do it, but I'm not going to press myself to do it, I'm going to embrace being busy, busy to do all of that. It's been a good week. It's been a hard week, but a good one. So definitely gained a lot of sense of strength through that one, and excited to finally break the milestone and get to week 9. So yeah. Bye.